Hello and welcome to Roof Hatches, Safety Standards, Applications, and Regulations provided by Babcock Davis. My name is Chris Casa and I am the Architectural and Design Specification Manager with Babcock Davis. I'd like to thank you for attending this educational CEU course, and I also want to point out that we will have three-part spec documents for roof hatches and safety railings sent to you as a reference takeaway. These documents will be available as links in your attendance thank you email after the webinar ends. Babcock Davis is a building products manufacturer servicing the product portfolio you see on your screen. We know at Babcock Davis that sourcing commercial building products is never as simple as it seems. This is particularly true when it comes to the type of specialty and architectural building products that we supply. It takes a collaborative effort of resources and information to get the job done right, and we understand all the complexities and time sensitivities involved. That's why we have built such a strong network of people and processes to better serve all of you, our partners, and we do so with the flexibility that meets your needs, not ours. Babcock Davis has been around since 1909, known as a roof hatch and smoke vent manufacturer. So if you've heard the name before, that's probably where you've heard it. But we've become much more than just a roof hatch and smoke vent provider. We manufacture the products you see on your screen, such as access doors, entrance mats and grills, sometimes known as grates, fall protection, stair treads and nosings, floor doors, sometimes known as floor hatches, luminous egress, as well as the roof hatches we'll be talking about today, and smoke vents. I'd also like to let you know that Babcock Davis is proud to be an affiliate member of the Health Product Declaration Collaboration, and we offer HPDs on our products whenever possible. At Babcock Davis, we have several CEU courses in accordance with the AIA credit credentials that can be earned in three ways. Number one, via a live webinar that can be done both publicly or privately. On demand through Ron Blank and Associates, which can be accessed by visiting our website and is available for viewing whenever it's convenient for you, and is probably the way you're taking the course today. And then lastly, in person, as it is available and requested. Other courses that we can offer would be a course called Commercial Smoke Vents, Design and Application Essentials for Life Safety and Welfare. The second course would be Integrating Access Doors for Function and Design. And then lastly would be a green roofing course called Blending Built Environments with Nature to Maximize Rooftop Productivity. Finally, we are proud to partner with specification tools and services such as RIB SpecLink, Master Spec, and their Spec Point program, as well as BIMsmith, which can all be accessed through our website or directly. Ron Blank hosts our narrated on-demand CEU courses, and we are also members of AIA, SCIP, and CSI. I am a member of our local Minneapolis CSI chapter, and Minneapolis is where Babcock Davis is headquartered at. Now, let's begin the program called Roof Hatches, Safety Standards, Applications, and Regulations. Babcock Davis presents an American Institute of Architects and International Institute of Building Enclosure Consultants continuing education services program. Credits earned upon the completion of this course will be reported to AIA CES for AIA members. Certificates of completion for both AIA members and non-AIA members are available upon request. Also, credits earned upon completion of this course should be self-reported to IBEC CES for IBEC members. Certificates of completion for both IBEC members and non-IBEC members are available upon request. This course is registered with AIA and with IBEC CES for continuing professional education. As such, it does not include content that may be deemed or constructed to be an approval or endorsement by the AIA or IBEC of any material of construction or any method or manner of handling, using, distributing, or dealing in any material or product. Completion certificates will be distributed by email, and typically they'll take about 10 days to arrive in your inbox. The course description for today. The intent of this course is to explain the benefits of commercial roof hatches and life safety. Upon completion of this course, the designer will have a better understanding of the code regulations for life safety and will be able to properly size and place hatches in accordance with these codes. The learning objectives for today's course will be to first kind of dive into the fundamentals of commercial roof hatches, which includes the types of materials that are used on them, types of hardware, and specification requirements. We'll also describe the two distinct different types of hatches. One would be called a personnel roof hatch, and the second would be an equipment roof hatch. Thirdly, we're going to talk about thermal breaks in roof hatches and their benefits. Fourth, we're going to evaluate the considerations for roof hatches in extreme weather conditions and how they apply in building codes, certification standards. Fifth, we'll achieve a basic understanding of roof hatch installation. And lastly, we're going to talk about fall protection in code, as well as regulations and OSHA requirements. We will begin the course with a thorough review of roof hatches, starting with roof hatch fundamentals, such as what are hatches used for, what are the material options, and what kind of hardware comes with a standard roof hatch. What is a roof hatch? Most commercial buildings require access to their rooftops to maintain equipment such as HVAC units or other roof-mounted equipment. Although there are several ways to access roof areas, the most common way is to use roof hatches. Roof hatches are typically located on the top floor of a building to provide direct access to rooftop areas, and they are used by maintenance workers, firefighters, or anyone who needs to get onto the roof for a variety of reasons. Your maintenance people would use a roof hatch to possibly do repairs. Obviously, the roof hatch allows them easy access for that routine maintenance or inspections and repairs that need to happen. Roof hatch could also be used for emergency access to the roof for firefighters. And lastly, a roof hatch could be used for occasional ventilation in a particular building. Now that we have established the purpose of a roof hatch, which is to provide a safe and convenient means to access the roof of a building, roof hatches are commonly constructed of a variety of different materials. The curb and cover can be made of steel, aluminum, or a combination of both. Finishes for steel hatches can be painted, they can be primed, and for aluminum, the more common finishes are mill finish or anodized. Infrequently, aluminum roof hatches are provided with a painted finish as well. The standard curb height on a roof hatch is 12 inches, but custom curb heights may be available, and they would be available in heights anywhere between 6 and 48 inches. There are also different types of insulation options around the curb and within the cover, and these can vary. Materials that are frequently found in the curb and in the cover would be fiberboard, polyiso, polystyrene, and mineral wool, just to name a few. Regarding roof hatch hardware, I'd want to start with handles and latches, which are often dependent on the size and application, but at its most basic level, they will have an interior and exterior handle and a mean to lock the hatch cover. Locking hold open arms, which you can see on your screen, is the red vinyl grip, which locks the door in place. Keep that cover in the open position while someone is on the roof. It also forces the individual to keep a hand on the lever while opening or closing the cover, thereby preventing it from possibly falling on top of someone. Next, there's what's called a spring or lift assist. This is put on because covers can be a little bit heavy, and there needs to be a means of providing some form of lift assistance. And this can come in the form, and it's hard to see on the picture, it's in the corner, but it can come in the form of a compression or gas spring. And then lastly, covers are gasketed to prevent moisture infiltration, and the standard warranty on a roof hatch is 5 years. Next, I'd like to talk about the clear openings of a roof hatch. I see a lot of issues with clear openings in the field where maybe this wasn't taken into account during the design process, but the clear openings that a hatch can achieve will vary. But one of the primary factors that comes into play here is going to be the angle at which the doors are open. So you can see in the bottom right-hand corner that typically, like a big double leaf equipment hatch, will open up to 85 or 90 degrees. So that's the first thing that can cut into that clear opening. Some hatches do have the capability of making that angle a little bit bigger, closer to 90. But when determining the clear opening, the designer should take into consideration any hardware or hatch component that may impede on that space required. One thing that I always talk about is when you're talking about clear openings, you want to be able to fit a box of a certain size through that hatch. In this scenario, you can see that there is a hatch. It's a 72-inch by 72-inch hatch. That hatch has a clear opening of 64 inches by 64 inches, meaning that a 64-inch by 64-inch by 64-inch box would fit through there, but anything bigger would not. So when in doubt, get details from the manufacturer or give a call and make sure that the hatches that you're looking at will achieve the clear opening that you're looking for. What are commonly stocked and manufactured hatch sizes? What are the hatches that you'd find at a local distributor? The number one size that you'll find at a distributor is probably a 36 by 30 inch hatch. You'll also find 36 by 36 inch hatches, which are a little bit larger and suitable for a single person access. And larger single leaf hatches, such as a 48 by 48, are also available to accommodate equipment or more extensive access needs. Other standard sizes for a ship stair would be 30 by 54, or a service stair might be 30 by 96. But those are really the top 5 sizes you'd really find in the roof hatch industry. Let's move on to section 2 called Roof Hatch Applications, where I will discuss the types of hatches along with their standard configurations. When it comes to roof hatches, there are many product types available, and how a roof hatch is going to be used will vary greatly. A few questions that you want to consider would be, is it going to be simply for access to the roof, or are other components going to be a consideration? Does the building owner want to bring in some natural daylighting, or are you concerned with the building envelope, thermal performance, and do you want to extend that performance to the roof hatch? Even the geographic location of a building can dictate what requirements need to be built into a hatch. In addition, you may want to consider security and if the hatch will be used as a means to access possibly large equipment. So there's really 2 types of hatches in the industry. One I would call a personnel type hatch, and the other I would call an equipment hatch. The personnel access hatch provides a safe and convenient way to access the roof area on commercial buildings. Usually these are single doors for easy operation. And a normal personnel hatch can be made with a metal cover. It can be thermally broke, meaning energy efficient. It can possibly be hurricane rated. You might want to go with a translucent skylight for daylighting, or add some big security measures into that particular roof hatch. On the other end, there's what's called an equipment roof hatch. An equipment hatch is used just for that, to remove equipment from a building or to put it back in the building. So typically you'll see equipment hatches used on big industrial buildings, manufacturing facilities, and or maybe wastewater treatment plants. How are roof hatches generally accessed? They're accessed by ladders. You can see the 4 types of systems that are generally used. The first would be a fixed ladder system, which is just a ladder typically attached to the ground below or attached to a wall and comes straight vertically up. These are designed for safety and durability. The second type of stair would be a ship stair ladder. You can see that on the right diagram. They have a steep incline and they have sturdy handrails to save space. Feels a little safer going up a ship stair. There's also another device called an alternating tread stair. It's a good solution for tight spaces. And lastly, you've got a service stair, commonly used for commercial or industrial buildings for accessing maintenance areas, more like a standard step. The simplest, most common type of roof hatch is the fixed ladder access hatch. This hatch is generally 36 inches by 30 inches when measured from the inside of the curb. The width is usually defined by the hinge to latch dimension, which in this scenario is 36 inches, and the length is defined as the hinge side, which in this scenario again is 30 inches. The ladder position on these hatches is normally at the latch side, as you can see on the picture. And designers should be aware that OSHA does require a 7-inch minimum foot clearance be maintained between the center rung of the ladder to the inside of the curb. Approximately 75% of all installed roof hatches are sized 36 inches by 30 inches and are typically used by maintenance personnel. As a designer, you should consider if the employee will be bringing up tool belts or boxes onto the roof and size the hatches accordingly. We recommend installing a hatch large enough to accommodate a firefighter in full gear, which would be a size of 48 inches by 48 inches. A growing segment of roof hatches is the ship stair hatch. These hatches offer a slightly larger opening, thereby providing greater ease of access to the roof for individuals that may be carrying tools or maintenance parts for mechanical rooftop systems. Common sizes for the ship stair hatch would be 30 inches by 54 inches or possibly 36 inches by 54 inches. Our recommendation to accommodate a firefighter in full gear is to specify a hatch that's a bit larger. We'd say you might want to go with a 30-inch by 70-inch hatch to accommodate that firefighter. Following along the same lines, service stair hatches offer an even larger opening and provide access to a roof area by utilizing a full-size service stair. These longer hatches, which are usually longer than 60 inches, typically require a 2-point latching system, and the 2-point latching system also has the benefit of achieving a higher wind uplift. The position of the stairs and the orientation of the roof hatch needs to be taken into consideration during the design phase with these service stair hatches. The idea is to be able to disengage the hold open arm as you walk down the hatch. If the hold open arm is at the opposite end of the hatch, the user is unable to reach it, and this becomes a major safety concern. Many customers are choosing service stair hatches for improved safety for employees, fully loaded with tool belts and equipment, making their way up onto a roof. Alternating tread stairs are designed with precise vertical height. When it comes to roof hatches, the height is measured from 2 key points. The first is where the top landing of the stair aligns with the finished surface of the roof, and the second is the lower finished floor where the foot of the stair will be secured. On this slide, you'll see a project spotlight from a project in Surprise, Arizona This is the Legacy Traditional Charter School. This would be a typical roof hatch application up onto a roof. You can see the roof hatch, its placement, and a safety railing system. And we'll be discussing safety railing systems a little bit later on in this course. Another type of personnel series roof hatches would be the hurricane rated roof hatch, which was designed to address the needs of area prone to hurricanes. Hurricane hatches undergo additional testing that allows them to withstand design pressures of up to a positive and negative 100 psf, all while preventing any water infiltration. Additionally, projectile impact and wind pressure tests are conducted to ensure that these hatches withstand the forces of a hurricane. Hatches of this nature are available in steel or aluminum and will typically have a more robust latch assembly as well as a continuous weather-tight seal. Products range from 40 psf up to 100 psf for wind loads with a safety factor of 2 as defined in Miami-Dade County's test protocol. Industry standard sizes are available up to a maximum area of 20 square feet, and some of those typical sizes which you'd find in this range would be 36 by 30 inches, 36 by 36, 30 by 54, 48 by 48, and 30 by 96, which all fall into the category of standards. Translucent roof hatches offer an alternative to daytime commercial lighting by allowing natural light into the building. These hatches are engineered with either a single or double dome that can vary in tint. Typical tints that I see would be clear or white. The domes can be made from a variety of materials, but the most common, again, are acrylic or polycarbonate. It is important to point out that dome material is selected of significance as OSHA requires skylight products to be able to support a 200-pound force to simulate a fall from an individual. Translucent roof hatches are available either in a single leaf option or a double leaf option, and because they are so light, they can be made in very large sizes. I've seen them as large as 14 feet by 20 feet. Here you'll see another project spotlight. This is from a project in Scottsdale, Arizona. It's the San Travicia Luxury Apartment Project. And here you'll see a typical translucent domed roof hatch on top of this multi-family roof. The last in this series of personnel roof hatches would be the security roof hatch, which are used in applications where additional or heightened security is required. These are often found in correctional facilities, and these hatches are designed with heavier gauge materials and have pinned security fasteners as standard components. Security roof hatches come standard with interior and exterior padlock hasp provisions, just like a standard roof hatch would, but often I'll see locking upgrades to something like a keyed mortise cylinder or a preparation plate pre-drilled to accept a specific manufacturer's detention lock. A little note here, a designer should specify if keyed access is going to be from the inside, the outside, or both. When it comes to the material used on security roof hatches, a standard roof hatch would use 14 gauge steel or 11 gauge aluminum. Security hatches have a much thicker grade steel or aluminum. For instance, if it's a steel product, it's 3/16 of an inch steel, or if it's aluminum, it's 1/4 inch aluminum, so much more robust. One last note too, you must specify or coordinate the lock manufacturer and possibly even the model if the hatch is designed as a preparation only. The preparation plate comes with pre-drilled holes that correspond to the exact lock. Example of detention type locks that we see in security roof hatches would be of the likes of Brinks, Southern Steel, Folger Adams, and more. Moving on from the personnel series type of roof hatches. The second type of roof hatch would be the equipment access hatch, which provides a convenient means for installing and servicing large pieces of equipment or tanks. These are commonly found on wastewater treatment plants or on manufacturing facilities. And these hatches usually have a double door configuration because of the larger size requirements for these type of doors. But single doors are also available on these hatches in some smaller sizes. Equipment hatches are typically made of aluminum because they are so big, and larger units would not even fit on a typical flatbed truck, so they are constructed of a two-piece curb, where the curb shifts in two pieces and is bolted together on site at the rooftop. One little note, because many of these are used on treatment plants and for other corrosive type of environments, I'd recommend not specifying the standard galvanized hardware, but to upgrade that to a stainless steel hardware. One last type of hatch to discuss would be a replacement hatch or a curb mount hatch. Standard roof hatches are primarily designed to be installed during construction of a new roofing system, but in many cases a hatch is damaged or requires replacement before another new roof system is needed. In these cases, a low-profile replacement hatch can be used. Low-profile replacement hatches are designed to be installed on an existing hatch curb, eliminating the need to replace roofing materials. The old hatch cover is removed and the new low-profile curb simply mounts directly onto the existing curb. A flange design and full apron ensure a weatherproof connection. Let's discuss curb options. When specifying a roof hatch, you'll want to make sure to match the curb to the application. The standard curb height is 12 inches. A typical roof system has approximately 4 inches of insulation, and designers usually want the lid to be 8 inches above the roof system, resulting in the 12-inch standard curb. But that's not always the case, so most manufacturers will offer a curb height anywhere from 6 to 48 inches for roofs with varying insulation depths. Roof hatch products are designed to be installed on a flat or sloping roof with up to a 7 and 12 pitch. But when installed on a slope, the hinge side should run parallel with the slope. For roofs with a greater pitch, work with the manufacturer to design a curb to match the roof pitch. So you'll see the pitch corrected hatch. That's what we're talking about there. Next would be ventilation. Louvered curb options are available, although we don't see that one too often. Point of contention sometimes is the single wall curb and the double wall curb. I think they get confused at times. A single wall curb is the most used configuration used in typically low slope roof assemblies. A single wall curb has exposed insulation and gets covered by membrane flashing, and termination is made at the counter flash. Whereas the double wall curb with counter flashing is selected when the designer wants the added insulation protection or when the unit is being installed on a standing seam roof or possibly onto concrete or where you don't have the ability to flash the product. And lastly, you've got curb mounted flange options. There's the straight flange, which can go over an existing curb, and an apron mount flange, which will go over the existing curb and then line up with the inside of the opening. And the final options for roof hatches would be the finishes. Many manufacturers offer a variety of color options. Typically used would be a polyester-based powder coating for steel finishes. You could also use that same coating on aluminum. Most designers utilize the manufacturer's standard color choices or choose white to reflect the sunlight. You can see the color choices that are typical on the screen. And where an organization has a color palette or a metal building roof, they might match the roof hatch, like the purple roof hatch there, to their brand or to the color of the roof. For aluminum, you have the option of using a Trinar paint finish. Trinar or Kynar only sticks to aluminum. It does not stick to steel or galvanized steel. Trinar is a brand name paint that provides improved protection against fading and coloring. Choosing Trinar or Kynar will increase the price of the product, but it often comes with an extended warranty of 5 to 10 years. The last option as an upgrade for aluminum is to apply a protective and decorative anodized finish in a variety of colors. In the next section, we'll review thermally broken technology in roof hatches. High efficiency roof hatches were introduced to provide a significantly improved thermal resistance more than your standard roof hatch. These hatches have a fully insulated curb and cover consisting of thicker polyiso insulation that realizes a higher R value. In addition, these hatches are available in a mill finish aluminum or a high reflectance white powder coat for cool roof applications. With energy efficient roof hatches, you have this thing called an R value, which is a measure of a material's thermal resistance or how well it prevents heat from moving into or out of a structure. R value is calculated based on a material's thickness and properties. This is kind of come to life because of higher R values that are required up on top of the roof and in the insulation. And we see this in climates where you have extreme temperatures, where you're trying to keep the building warmer in winter and cooler in the summer to help reduce the heating and cooling costs. The newest innovation in roof hatch manufacturing is what's called the thermally broken roof hatch. Thermally broken roof hatches provide the best thermal performance, exceeding standard hatches by more than 50%. A thermally broken roof hatch features a thermal break in its design. That is, there's no thermal bridge, which would be a connection from the inside to the outside. And there is an internal barrier of material, insulation, to stop the heat and cold from crossing that bridge. Why is this done? It's because of condensation. Condensation typically occurs on building products such as windows, skylights. We'll use roof hatches in this scenario, or smoke vents. Whenever the exterior surface temperature falls below the dew point temperature of the interior space. The thermal break then provides a barrier between the heat and the cold, reducing the potential for condensation. So a typical thermally broken roof hatch gets an R value of 20 plus, whereas a standard roof hatch with 1 inch of insulation would have an R value of 6. So you can obviously see how the thermally broken hatch would be much more energy efficient. The excessive heat or cold in a climate can compromise the structural integrity of roof hatches, leading to deformed or warping product or even failure. By incorporating a thermal break, roof hatches are better equipped to withstand temperatures without suffering damage, ensuring that they remain functional and effective. Thermally broken vents will mitigate condensation in cold weather climates. To understand thermally broken roof hatches a little better, they include up to 3 inches of insulation in the curb and in the cover, achieving an R value of greater than 20. Standard roof hatches include a gasket on just the lid, whereas thermally broken units include gaskets on the cover and the curb to further improve the thermal break between the curb and the cover. Also, a thermally broken hatch is the product you want to specify to match your roof hatch performance to higher performing envelope products like the roof. A thermally broken roof hatch is highly recommended for residential applications as well. Next, let's talk about the fun stuff. wind loads and codes. There are several codes to consider when specifying a roof hatch. The first is where they are required to be installed. Per IBC 2024, section 1011.12 requires buildings of 4 or more stories to have a stair to the roof in a penthouse unless the roof slope is greater than 4 and 12. If the roof is unoccupied, IBC allows an alternating tread device, ship stair, or ladder to be permitted with a roof hatch of not less than 16 square feet and a minimum dimension of 2 feet. So hatches that we'll see in this scenario would be like a 4 foot by 4 foot, or possibly a 2 foot by 8 foot, or anything in between. The second code to discuss will come from IBC section 1609 for wind loads. There have been changes in performance requirements driven by Miami-Dade County building codes. And this comes from the frequency of hurricanes. Building codes require a higher wind uplift, as well as testing for missile impact, static air pressure, cyclic wind pressure, and forced entry testing. This started in Florida, and since then many other states and hurricane areas are requiring products to perform to these higher standards. Products have been developed to meet these requirements, and we will cover them as we review product types. And we're not talking about just Florida, we're talking about the whole Southeast, the Gulf Coast, we're talking about, Hawaii, Puerto Rico, and other areas that get these high winds. Hurricane type hatches are required to withstand plus or minus 140 PSF. That's positive and negative pressure. Positive pressure, that plus 140 PSF, this indicates the roof hatch can handle a force of up to 140 pounds per square foot pressing down on it. Such would be from heavy snow accumulation or strong winds pushing downwards. The negative pressure, negative 140 PSF, this means the hatch can also withstand a suction force of up to 140 pounds per square foot, pulling the hatch upwards, which might occur during high winds or storm conditions, creating a vacuum effect. This rating ensures that the roof hatch can endure extreme weather conditions without failing and maintaining the building's safety and integrity. The determination of wind loads comes from section 1609.1.1, and it says wind loads on every building or structure shall be determined in accordance with chapters 26 to 30 of ASCE 7 or provisions of the all alternate heights method. The type of opening protection required, the ultimate design wind speed, and the exposure category for a site is permitted to be determined in accordance with section 1609 or ASCE 7. It says winds shall be assumed to come from any horizontal direction, and wind pressures shall be assumed to act normal to the surface considered. Wind uplift performance is determined by the performance of the latch. A quality manufacturer will include a wind uplift performance standard for their products. Performances will vary, but on a standard roof hatch, the typical PSF is 20 PSF for a unit less than or equal to 60 inches and up to 90 PSF for larger units with 2-point latches. In addition to the hurricane-prone regions we previously discussed, did you know that East Coast states also experience devastating hurricanes? The question is, does your state fall within these danger zones? On your screen, you can see the frequencies of hurricanes that frequent the states shown. Over the next few slides, we'll review the gold standard of codes regarding hatches to keep your roof safe during severe weather. The first standard we'll discuss is the Florida approved standard. This is a residential and commercial structures standard that requires a permit. Those permit documents list the building products, including roof hatches, used to construct the project. Many building products in Florida require a Florida product approval and must be able to meet or exceed the design requirements of the building being built. Florida developed an administrative code. It's a big long number, 61G20-3.001, that mandates the requirement for a product evaluation and approval for permit and construction. The second standard is the Miami-Dade County approved standard, and this was created to address the needs of areas prone to hurricanes. And it says that hatches need to undergo additional testing that allows them to withstand design pressures of up to a positive and negative 100 psf, all while preventing any water infiltration. Additionally, project impact and wind pressure tests are conducted to ensure that these hatches withstand the forces of a hurricane. Hatches of this nature are available in steel or aluminum and will typically have a more robust latch assembly, as well as a continuous weather-tight seal. Products range from 40 psf up to 100 psf for wind loads, with the safety factor of 2 as defined in Miami-Dade County's test protocol. Industry standard sizes are available up to a maximum area of 20 square feet. Next up, we'll discuss roof hatch and curb installation. Installing a roof hatch is a crucial task that provides access to your rooftop. Over the next few slides, we'll dig into the 5 guidelines. We all know that safety is critical on job sites, and here's a few more reminders. Before you start, check local and international building codes for roof access code compliance up on the roof. You want to make sure you're following all the codes to be up there and that you're safe. Always have at least 2 qualified individuals present during installation. Proper protective gear is necessary, including work gloves, safety helmets, safety glasses, dust masks, and anti-slip shoes. You're going to want to ensure that the work area is secured to prevent unauthorized access, creating a safe workspace for all involved. Packaging. When handling the packaging, exercise caution to prevent any damage to the roof hatch. It's crucial to be cautious to avoid any finger or limb entanglement between the roof hatch and the frame or the hinges. And lastly, closing the cover is advisable for safety reasons after passing through the hatch. During the pre-installation phase, actually estimating, maybe ordering, make sure to understand the kind of roof hatch that you're needing and that its dimensions are correct. This would be crucial for a successful installation. Remember that the inside of the roof hatch is really the dimension that you're trying to line up with the inside of your framing. Also check the clear opening dimensions of your chosen roof hatch. Make sure that you've got a hatch that's big enough to get the equipment and people up through it. And then lastly, verify that your roof is in good condition and has significant strength to support the hatch's weight, including wind and snow loads. Regarding installation, specific installation steps apply depending on the roof access hatch model that you are working with. For example, a specific hatch model instructions will be provided by the manufacturer, which must always be followed. However, the following guidelines are applicable for most models shown on the slide. Typically, you'll need to install a wood stop around the hatch entrance. You need to screw down the hatch over the opening. Spread the modified adhesive with the trowel in all corners to attach cant strips and keep spreading around the hatch on the curb at least 3 feet past the end of the metal on the roof surface. Next, you'll lay down a base sheet over the modified Then spread the modified in the same area again and lay down a cap sheet, finishing up with spreading the modified firmly around all the seams. Now and lastly, let's talk about fall protection, an extremely important consideration up on any rooftop. Falls are the leading cause of death in the construction industry, accounting for 1 in 3 deaths. In 2023, there were 850 fall fatalities, making falls the second leading cause of death on the job behind transportation accidents. These deaths are preventable, and we as an AED community need to do whatever we can to protect our people. To prevent these falls, safety railings are very important. The building code, along with agencies such as OSHA and NEOSH, which is the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health, as well as the Association of General Contractors, the AGC, create, administer, and push into law the regulations designed to create safe and healthful work sites. The International Building Code also has something to say about worker safety under Code Section 1015, specifically Code Section 1015.7 for roof access. It says, guards shall be provided where the roof hatch opening is located within 10 feet of a roof edge or open side of a walking surface, and such edge or open side is located more than 30 inches above the floor, roof, or grade below. The guard shall extend not less than 30 inches beyond each end of the hatch, parallel to the roof edge. And the guard shall be constructed so as to prevent the passage of a sphere 21 inches in diameter. There is an exception. It says guards are not required where personal fall arrest anchorage connector devices that comply with ANSI ASSE Z359.1 are installed. Safety around roof hatches is also regulated by both OSHA and the International Building Code. OSHA's Code of Federal Regulations, sometimes known as CFR, Standard 1910-29, recommends safety guarding around all openings, be they on a wall or a floor. In 1995, OSHA consolidated fall protection into Subpart M, releasing Standard 1926.500 through 503. This standard details criteria for fall protection systems and states that employees on walking or working surfaces shall be protected from falls through holes more than 6 feet. The regulation details the uses of fall protection to include guardrails, safety nets, and personal fall arrest systems. The exact location of this code is 1926.501 B4I. Another roof hatch safety product would be the automatic roof hatch opener. What the automatic roof hatch opener does is it allows one to open and close the roof hatch safely from the floor level, providing safer egress and ingress through the roof hatch. As you can imagine, not having to open and or close this hatch, especially if you've got things in your hand, would be much easier if it was operated remotely. So the automatic roof hatch opener has a remote as well as a standard keypad that's fixed to operate that hatch. It can be retrofit installed into sizes of roof hatches up to a certain point, and it can be factory installed on roof hatches as well. This product is OSHA compliant as well as Cal OSHA compliant. We've talked about codes, and there is a safety railing out there that is OSHA compliant to 1910-29 and 1926-502, and it must be able to bear a 200-pound load. Some other features: the top rail height shall be 42 inches plus or minus 3 inches from the walking surface. There also must be a midrail located halfway or at 21 inches on the system. And the railing material must be a nominal 1.5 inches, and upright posts should not exceed a spacing of 8 feet. These railings can be found in a variety of materials and are typically designed to easily mount to the counter flashing of the curb. I think you see a good picture of that on your left. You can also see it on the right picture, but you're not penetrating the roof hatch at all to add a safety railing system to the hatch itself. It's just mounting to that cap flashing, and railings can be ordered per size. Also notice the self-closing door on this system. That allows for the hatch to be surrounded by a railing at all times. You don't have a chain or something that can be left open. This is self-closing, so it's always closed and always safe. Exits on safety railings should be positioned so that they're either directly below the ladder or at the top tread of the stairway. These exits are commonly referred to as either a front exit or a side exit. On the picture that you're currently looking at, that would be considered a side exit. The self-closing gate is on the side, meaning you'd come up the ship stair ladder on a typical 30 by 54 inch hatch, and the door would be to your side. Also, I want to point out OSHA 1910.502 B13 says when guardrail systems are used around holes which are used as points of access, such as ladderways, they shall be provided with a gate or be so offset that a person cannot walk directly into the hole. So the last slide showed a side exit. This would be a front exit. What you're looking at is the most standard of all roof hatches, a 36 by 30 inch roof hatch, and it would be a front exit because the hatch door is to your back as you go up and out of the hatch. You would typically see this configuration on a fixed ladder access hatch. Another option for protecting the hatchway would be a corral type railing system. It's a common rule of thumb in the construction industry called the 6-foot rule, which is that a worker on a flat surface more than 6 feet from an unprotected edge does not require fall protection. However, OSHA regulations include no such rule. State OSHA guidelines may vary, but in no case is there mere distance from an edge considered sufficient protection when a fall hazard of over 6 feet to a below level exists. They basically say there's no safe distance from an unprotected roof edge where the drop is greater than 6 feet. The corral guard system that you see here is an option for directing individuals away from the roof edge of the building. It does not protect the entire building edge, yet it provides extra safety for employees entering or exiting a roof hatch. Corral systems can easily be customized for your application. As with many products in construction, there are options available to provide guardrails. A frequently used product is the temporary weighted base guardrail. They are a quick, easy solution, adaptable to your job site conditions. Another option for providing rooftop railings is a permanent mounted solution. They are custom designed for your rooftop. They are installed under the coping and the roof flashing, providing continual protection from falls. An additional means of providing a safe and easy way to step on or off a fixed vertical ladder would be the safety post. These posts are normally found on the smaller sized ladder access hatches, fixed ladders, and are mounted to the top ladder rungs. They are used to assist the individual as they transition from the ladder to the roof deck. Safety post material options would be steel in a yellow powder coat as a standard, hot dip galvanized, aluminum mill finish, or 304 stainless steel. They are available with a painted or mill finish. The last safety option for this CEU would be a safety grab bar, which is an option for any size roof hatch. They simply provide a place for the individual to hold on to as they exit the hatch. The grab bar mounts to a corner section through the curb counter flashing. So once again, you're not penetrating the roof hatch or the roof in any way. And this is another option to provide a hold point as an individual would exit a roof hatch. As you can see, roof hatches are an important part of any commercial building and provide access to roof areas for a variety of purposes. Careful selection of a roof hatch, including its construction material, its ease of operation, the safety features, and any necessary options will determine its service life and required maintenance. We have now reached the end of the slide presentation, and you are now fully prepared to detail and understand the fundamentals of commercial roof hatches, including materials, hardware, and specification requirements. You should be able to describe roof hatch applications for personnel and equipment type hatches. You'll be able to recognize and understand the significance of a thermal break in a roof hatch and its benefits. You'll be able to evaluate the considerations for roof hatches in extreme weather conditions and how they apply in building codes, certification standards. You'll be able to achieve a basic understanding of roof hatch installation, and you'll be able to explain fall protection and code regulations and OSHA requirements. Thank you for your time. If we can answer additional questions or if we can assist you on your projects in the future, please feel free to reach out at any time.